Hi everyone, Benjamin Nyland here from ShareGate, and I want to talk to you about why ShareGate is your team's first pick. Now, bear with me, we know Microsoft Teams is growing exponentially. We're at, I think, 145 million people using it daily. And I think when we monitor daily usage within Microsoft Teams, we're actually looking at people doing stuff, not just having Teams open. So there's definitely a lot going on. Now, we know what drove this Teams adoption, but it's not about to slow down. There is a ton of things being created every time a Microsoft Teams is being used, whether it's a new SharePoint Teams site that comes at it, or you're doing a private chat in Microsoft Teams, which links to your OneDrive and drops your file in there. There's a lot going on and it's happening fast. So of course, what does that mean for ShareGate? At ShareGate, we really want to build easy to use software that takes down the complexity for IT in order to help you being with you all the way, right? And that means from migration, which we have been known for, whether it's Teams migration today, but also content management, right? The migration within your environment to move things around, taking a channel and turning it into a Teams, for example. These are all types of scenarios that show up, but after that, you have the adoption of Teams or maintaining a good use of it. So that's not, controlling the sprawl, removing the old stuff that's cluttering the environment, not helping people find what they're looking for navigation wise, search wise, and so much more with guest users, membership. I mean, it's something with this nature of democratized technology where everyone has access to everything. It makes it a lot more complex for us in IT because we've got about 10 different admin centers, all different kinds of settings that work differently depending on what's being turned on. We want to take down that complexity, and that's what we're here. Now for us, we have a strategy to really focus on Microsoft Teams and all the challenge that go with them. We want to go big on Teams, and for us, there are three main categories for it. So a lot going on. Right now in our roadmap, there's a ton of things that have already been invested and already released, and a lot more to come. In terms of Teams migration, we've already released private channels migration, which is a popular feature when migrating because you want to be able to go and get all of the channels in an environment, right? Now, we have a lot going on there. We're invested in doing incremental Teams migration copies. We're invested in adding Planner that is attached to your Microsoft Teams and bringing all of those Planner cards to the next destination. So Planner migration attached to Microsoft Teams. We're currently looking into the next workload to copy. And in Microsoft world, workload means product. So we're looking into what are we going to migrate next when we're migrating Teams. If you have suggestions, let us know. For now, we have our eyes on forms. We have our eyes on private chats. We have our eyes on so many things. But any insights, always share with ShareGate. We're always there to build it for you first and foremost. In terms of Teams security, we already have external sharing reviews. We're about to release guest reviews so that your owners or yourself can regularly check whether the guest in the Teams should still be there or not and take action on them. And we already do that with external sharing links. We're going to dive into member reviews as well, allowing you or the owners to validate whether the members in the list within their teams is still the right one. Sometimes you have people that change teams, change departments, and they are forgotten. They're still having access to things perhaps they shouldn't, or you forgot to add the new person in the right team and they're missing. So we're going to try and help you with that as much as we can. And of course, if we're going to do member reviews, we're also going to do sharing reviews, the internal sharing inside of your team, inside of your SharePoint sites. So we definitely want to invest heavily in all things related to team security. As far as managing teams, we already have a ton of controls. We have orphan groups. We have true archive, and what I mean by that is we actually archive the content, store it somewhere else, allowing your environment to stay fresh with relevant content only. Of course, you can set that up the way that you want, but definitely helpful. What are we looking at? We're looking at things like duplicate detection. Are these teams duplicated? Do you have another group of people or the same group of people often duplicating their environment because they did not understand that the new SharePoint team site that they created actually comes with a team automatically and thus created a duplicate work environment? Two sites with two teams, marketing one and marketing. It's the same and should be the same. So we're going to look at how to detect that for you magically, and try and help you deal with that thanks to our migration features, such as merging teams together, migrating. We're going to try and build the best solution possible for you. We're also going to tackle the challenges related to what leads to provisioning software. Try and see what challenges are there. We've already come up with group purpose, sensitivity, automatically applying the right settings for them. But we're going to dive deeper into provisioning to see how we can help you get the right teams right away for your people, so that they use what you want them to use in the right way. Super important. And finally, we started an innovation lab. Frequently throughout the year, we have kind of hackathons, if you will, just really a lab of innovation where we're starting to look into employee offboarding and employee onboarding using Microsoft 365. So not necessarily the part that's for HR, we're talking about the part that's for IT, for you. Every time someone leaves the company and they tell you last minute, and you have to make sure that everything's okay. So we're starting to dive into that because with Teams, people are added everywhere. They're all over the place. And if you want to make sure that the next person has the same permissions as that person, or whether or not all has been done the right way in terms of closing the access and removing all of the links possible, we want to help you with that process, and that's in the Innovation Lab as well. We have a ton going on. We have this giant roadmap focused on Teams across migration, management, security, and a lot more coming in the future. This was all in the coming months. Stay tuned with ShareGate because it's definitely gonna wanna be your team's first pick as we move on with Microsoft in this new world. Now, it's not just about our products and our features. We're always dedicated in helping you and helping your organization use it better. So we have tons of Teams educative content, whether it's our Sharing is Caring guide to external sharing, the masterclass with Jasper Osterveld on Teams lifecycle. We're gonna update our YouTube channels even more with Teams content, and there's a ton of content coming your way. More classes, more training. We want to help you. We know there's a lot going on. We know it can be challenging. So definitely check it out. And guess what? What's fun is that if you're already a ShareGate customer, you have more value in what you already own, because we've added our second product, ShareGate Apricot, which does all of this Teams management and team security as part of your subscription. There is only one ShareGate today, and that's the ShareGate that's with you all the way. And today, that means Microsoft Teams. Thanks again, and definitely check out ShareGate for your team's first pick.